stormy weather, I might have the blues, but nothing ever stopped me from dusting off my shoes. You might think you'll see me falling to the ground, but I threw up my umbrella.
Hi, and welcome to Run Tall with Tim. I'm Tim. Thanks for being here. I always appreciate the time that you and I get to spend together, so thanks for tuning in. And I hope wherever you are that you're happy, healthy, and staying safe. On today's video, I'm going to be recapping week 4 of our marathon training program together, or what I'm calling the Road to Bayshore. And because it is week 4 and we're well into the marathon training block, it's time for me to start thinking about my marathon pace and coming up with a predictor for that. So that's what I'm going to share with you now before I take a look at the week in review. And the way that I'm going to calculate or predict my marathon pace is I'm going to start with my fastest 1 mile pace, my most recent fastest 1 mile pace. So not necessarily my fastest of all time, because that would reflect my level of conditioning at that point. Well, I need to know really basically what it is today to get a good predictor. So I'm using some information from my threshold run that I did on Friday, where I wore the Nike ZoomX Streak Fly, and I'm going to be doing a review about that shoe here coming up really soon. But spoiler alert, it's a really fast shoe and I love it. So, but I'll talk more about that here in a future video. I'm taking one of my mile paces from that, and it came up to be a 6:44 minute mile. I'm going to take that and I'm going to do a little bit of math to come up with a predictor for my marathon pace. So I'm going to turn and look at my computer and use the calculator there. So again, what I want to do is I want to turn that 6:44 minute mile pace into total seconds. So I'm going to take that 6 minutes and I'm going to times that by 60 seconds. And that'll come up with a total number of seconds. So 6 times 60 is 360. Now I need to add in that extra 44 seconds. So 360 plus 44 brings up 404 seconds. And I'm going to times that by 1.3. So 1.3. That brings it up to 525.2 seconds per mile. And then I'm going to divide that by 60 to get it back to minutes. And that comes up with 8 minutes and then 0.75 or 75% of a minute. But that's kind of cumbersome to look at. So I'm going to change that to seconds. So I'm going to take 60 seconds times 0.75, and that comes up with 45. So my total pace, or my predicted pace for the marathon, is going to be 8 minutes and 45 seconds per mile. So tell me what you think about that method to calculate your predicted marathon pace. And if you have an alternative method and you want to share that in the comment section below, that would be greatly appreciated. So let's go ahead and log in to connect.garmin.com to take a look at the training that was completed for week number 4. So I'm going to turn and look at my computer for just a second. And as we scroll over, I'm already logged in, so I'm at my dashboard. I'm scrolling over to where it says training. I'm going to go down to where it says training plans. And of course, mine's active, so it pops right up. And we're looking at week 4. It started with Sunday, doing some yoga. Again, I love Yoga with Adrian is my preferred YouTube channel to go to, but there's a lot of really good ones out there. So if you have ones that you enjoy, please feel free to share those in the comment section below, because I'm always looking for other things to do as well, trying to change it up a little bit. And then Monday started the week off with the first run, doing some interval work. And then Tuesday was a recovery run followed by some cross training. And I did things like planks and that kind of stuff to try to strengthen my core for my cross training. And then Wednesday, I ran a fartlek run. Thursday was a rest day. Friday, I was back to running some intervals again. And then Saturday was a long run. So I'm going to go back up now to the interval training that we did on Monday. I'm going to kick it out to myself to talk a little bit more about that. So today kicks off week 4 of our Road to Bayshore. I am doing some interval work today. And as the speed work gets harder, the amount of time they give you to warm up gets longer. So today, I'm starting out with a 15-minute warm-up, and then we'll get right into the intervals, which will consist of running 8 minutes at threshold pace, followed by some recovery time. I think 2 minutes, but I'll have to double check that. That's the nice thing about having it set to my watch. I don't have to remember it. It'll just come up for me. And then we'll repeat that sequence 3 different times, followed by a cool down. I'm wearing kind of a blast from the past today. I've got on the New Balance RC Elite, the originals. You know, it's fairly dry pavement out today, so I thought it might be fun to take those off the shelf and give them a go today. So I'll let you know how it goes. Awesome. So let's check out and see how those New Balance Fuel Cell RC Elites did running those interval training. To do that, I'm going to go in app. And as I click on that, it'll bring me right up to my dashboard or to my day. And then I'm going to click on calendar, February 28th, which is the day that we ran the intervals. And from there, I'm going to slide over and click on run. Now here you can see the 3 different intervals. The first one was a 6:53 minute mile. And then the second one was a 7:03 minute mile. And the third one was a 7:08 minute mile. And again, they were 8 minutes each with a 2-minute recovery time in between there. And I did progressively get a little bit slower, but you know, I just plain got a little bit more tired as the workout went on. So let's go back up to Tuesday and take a look at the recovery run, see how that turned out. In order to do that, I'm going to slide over to the left-hand side of my screen, and I'm going to go all the way up to where it says Activities, click on All Activities, and then I'm going to click on Run when that comes up. And we're going to look at March 1st, which is our recovery run. And take a second just for that to come up, and you can see that, you know, I ran an average pace of 8:48 minute mile, and I ran for 4.97 miles. All right, so let's slide back over. And here we're going to take a look at our fartlek run, as long as we're here. And you'll see that it was on average an 8:14 minute mile pace, went 6.88 miles. And to talk more about the fartlek and what that consisted of, I'm going to kick it back out to myself on the day that I ran them. So today I'm running fartleks, which is basically, at least in my opinion, a somewhat unstructured speed work day. Right now I'm in a warm-up phase, so after about 10 minutes of this, you know, kind of jogging along, prepping my body, then I'll hit my first one. Now I don't base mine on time necessarily, although I do kind of keep that in the back of my mind. But normally I just like to pick out a spot ahead of me and then pick up my pace to get there. Once I'm there, I go into recovery time. And I kind of repeat that process, but there's no specific, you know, 5 minutes on, 2 minutes off or anything like that. So it's a bit more unstructured. I actually like doing these. I somewhat do them on days like today when I have my GoPro or my Insta360 go-to action camera, something like that, because it seems like whenever I turn that on and start to record for you guys, I actually pick up the pace anyway. So it's like kind of hitting the NOS button in a car. So anyway, that's going to be the plan for today. I've been looking forward to this run pretty much all week, because it is one of the more fun ones to do. It's just not just a consistent pace or you know, specific interval that I need to run. It's much less structured than that. So I'm going to get right into it. My warm-up's almost complete. I'm wearing the Nova Blast 2 today for this workout. It's a really good choice. There's a lot of cushion, but when you want to pick up the pace, it's pretty easy to do that. So I think it's going to work out really well. But I'll let you know how that goes. All right, let's get into it. So let's take another look at the computer. For here, I'm simply going to scroll down just a little bit from where I was, and we'll look at the paces of that fartlek run, because I think that's really where the proof is, or where we can see the differences in, you know, the variations of the speed during the workout. And you can see all these different spikes here in the blue are variations in the pace. So you can see how many times that I had picked up the pace throughout that workout. And, you know, they ranged, but some of them were, well, you know, 5:42-ish, something like that. But each of the different spikes did see an increase in my overall speed. And again, what I would do is I just pick out a point ahead of me and then run pretty hard till I got there. So that's the way I do them. If you guys have another way to do them and you want to share that in the comment section below, that would be much appreciated, not just to myself, but to everyone else who might be watching. So let's go back to the computer screen, and here I'm going to go up to Friday, which was the third speed workout for the week. So this week was pretty heavy-ended on doing that speed work. So, and here I'm going to click on intervals, and again, this is on Friday. To run the intervals, I was using the Nike ZoomX Streakfly, and these shoes are designed for 5 and 10K race runs. And I was excited to put them on my feet and see how they did. And really see just how different they are from something like the Big Brother, I guess, like the Nike Next Percent 2, which is the shoe that I oftentimes would pick up for a 5K. And they did awesome. So well worth the $160 that I paid for them. And we'll talk more about that in a future review that I'll do of the shoe. I'm going to put some more miles. I'm going to do a little more speed work this upcoming week in them as well, just to get a better sense. So maybe some of that newness will wear off and I can see some of the flaws if there are any in wearing that shoe. So let's take a look at the interval workout. The format was 10 minutes of running threshold with 2-minute recovery time. I ran it 3 different times, and this is the route that I took. And basically, when we look at the computer screen, I kind of went down this way, up and around, then back again, and it took me 3 times around to get to that to finish that third threshold run. And overall, I think it went really well. But let's take a look and see how those threshold paces turned out. To do that, I'm going to go in apps. So give me just a second while I fire up my phone. So as I click on Garmin Connect, it brings up my day, and then click on calendar, March 4th, which was the Friday that I ran the intervals. And then I'm going to scroll down to where it says interval run, click on that, slide over to where it says run, and then that highlights my intervals. And it turned out to be a 6:52, 6:57, and 7:01 minute mile pace for those 3 different 10-minute intervals with a 2-minute recovery time. So let's take a look at the final workout for the week, which was a long run there on Saturday. So to do that, I'm just going to go back to the activities page and then click on long run. And then as that brings up, you can see that I ran an average of a 9:06 minute mile pace for 2 hours and 25 minutes, a total of 15.93 miles, so just shy of 16 miles. So for that, I ran in the Nike Next Percent 2. I just kind of wanted to see how they were going to do on a long run like that. It's a shoe that I'm evaluating to actually run the marathon, and I think they did terrific. They held up really well. I felt really good. You might get a laugh out of this. So if you go back and watch the first few minutes of this video, you're going to see that I was literally airing my dirty laundry here on YouTube. I had a pair of run tights draped over the back here that I was air drying. Those are the ones that I wore for that long run. They're new from 2XU, and I'm going to be doing a review on them upcoming. It's their Force compression, which was really made and designed for HIIT types of training, but I put them on because I wanted to have a lot of support for that 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours that I was out running. And we'll talk more about that when I do the review for the forced compression tights by 2XU later on. But overall, I think it turned out really well. The tights are dry, they're off my shelf, so I'm no longer airing my dirty laundry here on YouTube. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you here next week to continue our marathon journey together right here on Run Tall with Tim.
You might think you'll see me falling to the ground.